evening, welcome to this episode of The Red Zone. If you are new here and you're like, hey, this is Revolution, this is something kind of different. It is on the TIR channel, but this is our very fun, very inappropriate leftist sports show. And I leave sports in quotations because usually we talk about sports for a little bit and then we delve into an array of topics. Generally topics that we shouldn't say online for fear of cancellation. Thank God not enough people watch this show to cancel us, but it's coming because I believe our plan to do play-by-play porn shit is catching on. That being said, as you can see, I'm once again on location in Tijuana. I'm at my favorite coffee place, The Witch, in the mall, the underground mall in TJ. And before I bring in my co-host, I want to read the introduction so you know what we're talking about today. A friend of mine was so excited. He was like, oh, you're talking about the overrated Kansas City Chiefs. You've piqued my interest. The Kansas City Chiefs remain the undefeated frontrunners in the NFL, yet in an era of hot takes, some question if their record fully reflects their performance. Many argue that Kansas City benefits from favorable calls in crunch time, but the Chiefs keep finding ways to win regardless. As any coach will tell you, no one wants a game's outcome to rely on the lying eyes of a referee. While last season's Chiefs were led by the offensive prowess of their all-world quarterback Patrick Mahomes, it was actually Kansas City's defense that played the decisive role in their 2023 championship season. This season, fortune seems ever on their side, even as critiques grow about their status. For instance, facing a potential loss at home against my Denver Broncos. All it took was a 35-yard field goal for Denver to secure victory, a modest but rare chance for a win in Kansas City, yet in a seemingly karmic twist, the Chiefs blocked the kick, clinching a 16-14 victory and maintaining their undefeated record. While some might call them the worst undefeated team in history, that's just another soundbite in a cycle that can turn any team from underdog to villain in an instant. Shifting gears to college football, recent big losses by Miami and Georgia could shake up the top 10, potentially allowing teams like Indiana, Army, and BYU to inch closer to a top playoff position. In a 12-team expansion format, the dominance of traditional powerhouses based on brand recognition alone could diminish the diversity of playoff contenders. It's high time for lesser celebrated teams to have a shot in the playoffs, challenging the narratives that only old guard teams deserve top rankings. Imagine the excitement of Army pulling off a major upset, or BYU, a former national champion, vying for a title once again. A team many are eager to see in the playoffs is Colorado, led by the dynamic Shedeur Sanders and coached by the legendary Hall of Fame quarterback Deion Sanders. Known for his electrifying personality and strategic roster overhaul, Sanders has brought his larger-than-life presence from the field to the sidelines, making him a captivating figure in college football. After an underwhelming 4-win inaugural season, the Buffaloes have bounced back to 7-2, sparking talk of a potential playoff berth. Should Colorado maintain this momentum, it raises the question, will Deion Sanders take his show to a more prominent program or perhaps the NFL? And if he does, what does that mean for Colorado, for the shifting norms of coaching, and for a sport increasingly shaped by rapid player and coach turnover? We will delve into these questions. Please welcome my co-hosts with the most, my partner in crime and slime all the goddamn time. Please welcome back.
Jason.
Sorry.
Okay, I'm deaf again. Sweet. Now, I'm going to go ahead and start out this talk of the Chiefs by quoting one of the dumbest favorite movies that I have. And that would be won Pirates of the Caribbean, where certain
Okay.
Jack Sparrow was told he was the worst pirate he's ever heard of. But what did Sparrow come back with? But you've heard of me, right?
Yes, yes.
So the Chiefs are the worst undefeated team ever, but they're undefeated. Okay, like that's what undefeated great teams do. They win big, they win small, they win close, they win defense, they win with offense. They just fucking win, baby. They're everything Al Davis ever wanted the Raiders to be, you know?
Mm.
And you can't argue that since Andy Reid's gotten there and he's like, hey, Alex Smith, I appreciate you for being a steadying presence at quarterback, but you're not my dude to get us over the hump. And he inserts a precocious youngster named Patrick Mahomes III. They've
Who
literally
would have
been,
known? Yeah.
yeah, they've literally been, well, honestly, one person from Twitter who literally tweeted 10 minutes after Mahomes was drafted, give him a year and you're going to win championships. And fuck, he was the only guy that thought so, besides him and the Kansas City front office. Um, so like, I mean, dude, people can piss and moan about it all they want, but they're looking really good. Going into potentially winning their third Super Bowl in a row, which has never been done before. So
That's what's so interesting about this moment in football. Like, there was a few things that we've seen over the last, I would say, was that 10 years that we never saw before. Number one, we never saw, first of all, a quarterback go from one Super Bowl team. Sorry, someone's closing a door really loudly. We've never seen a quarterback go from one Super Bowl team and then win another Super Bowl with another team. We've seen them maybe go to Super Bowls and other teams, but we've never seen them win Super Bowls on two different teams. And now we've seen it happen twice. Once with Peyton Manning, with Denver, which when he did that, I was like, that's never going to happen again. Then Tom Brady goes to Tampa Bay, and I thought maybe. And Tom Brady does this feat that we hadn't seen in the history of modern football. Of course, we're seeing records get broken because of different rules in the passing game and kind of just the change of the game. For years, and we've talked about this before on the show, we saw quarterbacks have to be fit into an NFL system. And over the last, again, I would say maybe 10 years or so, we've seen systems change for the quarterback. And I do feel like we kind of missed out on some guys that might have been great talents. Vince Young, Marcus Mariota. Jesus Christ, you really want to close that right now? But it's like it's the loudest doors known to man.
Yeah, I mean, see,
So,
I really think that started with, we need to give John Harbaugh a lot of credit here in Baltimore, right?
Okay.
Because when you end up with Lamar Jackson at the bottom of the first round, how many, people saw him already pulling down 2 MVPs, right?
I didn't. Yeah.
It's weird. And rather than try and stick him into, the Ravens system, what did Harbaugh do? He was like, nope, we're gonna make you comfortable so you can do what makes you this electrifying dude that we got from Louisville. And yeah, there's been some ups and downs. He's had some injuries, but I really think if he would have had more help at receiver, and let's face it, the Ravens have kind of swung and missed on developing receivers. But look at Zay Flowers. I think he's been perfect.
Oof, he's a great receiver. I really like Zay Flowers.
Right?
Yeah.
And then you couple him with Mark Andrews, who is one of the top 5 tight ends in the NFL. And then look at what he's managed to do with Derrick Henry. The guy that has too many carries, too many miles on the tread. And Henry's only leading the NFL in everything when it comes to rushing yards. It's Jolomite. So like watching him operate in this with no expectations of him having to carry anything, I think is going to make Baltimore a really rough team to play going, as they continue into the season. I've always liked Lamar. I always thought that, why wasn't Baltimore going out and targeting guys like, D Hop, and Devontae in like trades, to have a guy out there for Lamar to get the ball to. But I mean, what the fuck do I know? Like, they picked up Zay Flowers, who's fit seamlessly into that system. They're actually getting help from some other receivers. You know,
But is Lamar back to the Lamar Jackson thing? Were you like me? And I think we've talked about this before on the show as well. I enjoy watching Lamar Jackson play. He's a lot of fun. I think he's a better pro than he was in college. That being said,
yeah.
Is he a receiver killer? Because right now I don't feel like he is anymore.
I mean, before this season, I would have said yeah. And honestly, I chalked that up more him being at the offense. Now he doesn't have to. Like, he's got a very stable receiver. I mean, Zay Flowers has been phenomenal. You
Yeah.
know, maybe he's not like putting up Megatron stats, but one, he's going to do that. But what has he managed to do? Give Lamar a great outside threat who can also get it moving, play the slot when he needs to.
Yes, he can. He's not afraid to go over the middle.
Yeah. And on top of that, he's a good 1-2 punch with Mark Andrews, right? When we're talking about receivers. And that opens up a lot of the field for the other receivers on the team that Lamar doesn't have to like force the ball to, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that in itself has helped him immensely this season. And then you have him giving the ball to Derrick Henry, who isn't carrying the load that he was in Tennessee, but is still putting up numbers like he did 4 years ago in Tennessee.
Mm-hmm.
So like this is a perfect storm. Now, the fact of the matter is this: if those two meet in the playoffs, Baltimore's going to have to really kind of change what they do, because Kansas City has a very, very stingy run defense, and they've played phenomenal, all defensively all season. Now, offensively, I think with Pacheco coming back and Travis Kelce kind of coming out of his coma, you might see the offense warm up a little bit. And with DeAndre Hopkins there, who seems like he's immediately has a good rapport, with him after like 2 weeks,
Yeah.
you could maybe see him picking up steam. But, I don't know, man. Like I'm never going to knock on, John Harbaugh. He's shown that he's a phenomenal head coach. I mean, I did say now, I will freely admit, last month I said, is he the guy that's going to get you over the hump? Because like things didn't look like he adjusted much from last season. And then, at this point in this season, it looks like he's changing shit up. He's trying to keep, add new wrinkles to the system. I think getting Todd Monken from Georgia was a phenomenal offensive coordinator pickup for the Ravens. So like, I mean, if the playoffs, I think are going to be kind of nuts, man. Like I really think they're going to be kind of nuts.
Do you think the Chiefs can keep it up? Because everyone says the AFC West is really weak, but the Chiefs' closest games, I mean, they've had a lot of close games this season.
Yeah.
They've had a very close game against Cincinnati. They had a really close game against San Diego. They had, or whatever they're called. That's the San Diego Chargers.
The artist formerly known as the San Diego Chargers.
Yeah, the artist formerly, just the symbol. The Chargers and the Anaheim
just
Angels,
the lightning bolt,
symbol. This game against the Broncos, which was super close. They had a close game against the Raiders. It feels like the division is playing tough, and everybody thought Kansas City was just going to slice through the AFC West like a hot knife through butter. I don't know if that's the case. I don't know if they win the second time around with these teams, especially because I think the Chargers are getting a little bit better. I think the Broncos doing something that scared me a little bit, because I feel like in this era of football, coaches have such a short leash. Even big name coaches have a short leash. So when Sean Payton didn't, quote unquote, fix Russell Wilson, I thought the sky was going to fall with a rookie like Bo Nix. It's not falling. I've never felt such confidence in a loss before, like that one Sunday. Can Kansas City keep it up and finish the season undefeated? If so, will they go down like the Patriots of 2007?
Well, I mean, we went like the end of last season. We were saying that the AFC North was going to be the roughest division, right? Cincinnati had a down year, but then you had Cleveland, Baltimore, and Pittsburgh, all above 500 since he wasn't that far out, right? And we said that the AFC West would be the easiest division to win, and it's completely flipped, right? Like Baltimore has got a pretty easy path through the AFC North, right? Like Pittsburgh is going to play you tough, but do they have the athletes to keep up with Baltimore right now? And I would say no, right? If
Does
Pittsburgh,
Russell Wilson look better to you though when it comes to Pittsburgh?
here's the thing. When I heard Russell was coming back, I watched that first game back. He looked very comfortable, right? 260
Yeah,
something yards, couple touchdowns, right?
comfortable. Yeah.
Made some good throws. But then as the weeks went on, it like when we get this late into the season, there's going to be a game where Russell has to take over, and I don't think he can.
Okay.
And it's not a knock against him, but like Father Time gets everybody at a certain point, and it seems like it kind of got Russell a little earlier than like say Peyton or Brady, or any of these guys, right? And that's okay because like Russell Wilson's had a fucking pretty rad career, I'd say. But when you look at the AFC West now, it's like Jim Harbaugh's reinvigorated the artist formerly known as the San Diego Chargers. Just a tough defense to play against. He's really reinvigorated that offense, kind of molded it in his image, but Herbert is still able to put the ball up and get it downfield. Now, I think maybe that would be the toughest one, only because like it just seems like they have their shit together a little more than the Broncos, and I'm not saying that like in a bad way, but these are like the baby Broncos, man. Like I'm pretty sure half the team isn't old enough to drink legally in a bar, or if they are, they're still getting like mojitos and shit, like fruity drinks, because they don't know what else they to like. But like, Peyton got a lot of shit for not, fixing Russell Wilson. I just don't think he was sold on Russell Wilson. The Broncos have been constantly searching for somebody under center since Peyton retired. And when you have a chance to go out and get one of the better QBs in the league, sure, take a shot. They just overpaid for him vastly. But, the good thing is, he rolled the dice with Nix, and I think Nix has shown improvement each week. He gets a little bit better. He looks like he's more comfortable in the offense. He looks like he understands the offense a little more. They're running the ball well. They're playing typical tough Denver defense. But I think it's going to be Cleveland, shut up. But like, I think next year will be like the launch point for Bo Nix into like understanding the offense completely and being able to do things that he's not able to do this year, So, oh my gosh. Okay, everybody, just stick up for the fucking mojito now. You all know it's foo-foo, and that's fine. Okay? Maybe they want to drink an amaretto sour or a tequila sunrise, okay? Like, that's fine. I was just talking about, little beginner drinks for the baby Denver Broncos. Okay?
I didn't know we were gonna have all these mojito fans.
No shit. And you know what?
For the next live show.
No one's allowed to give Jason shit about eating raisin salad if you're going to defend mojitos, okay?
Thank you. Thank you very much. I wish I had the applause button for you. Just say thank you for that.
I'm a principled man, okay? And if you're going to give shit to someone about eating a raisin salad, you should not be out here banging your chest over mojitos, okay? That's all I'm saying.
Someone called you a drink racist, and they said you're racist against rum people's drinks. Oh my god, fucking drink racist. But so do you? Okay, check. Because also, guys, we can't do our normal. Hear that Bronco bashing milk frother. Look, dude, I'm at the milk frothing capital. I wish these women weren't so shy and I could walk over to where the treats are so you can see how fucking rad they are. But anyway, so do you think the Chiefs are overrated at 9-0, or do you think they're a good team that's getting lucky and when the playoffs start, kind of like last year,
Yeah,
where
dude. I mean,
they weren't winning these games last year.
yeah. When you're winning games close like that, there's luck to it. You know, whether it's just a lucky thing happens or Jesus, Cleveland, like what the fuck, dude?
It's the X that kills me.
Yeah. You know, but like there's luck and then there's just shit calls. Like we can all complain about the refs and everybody should, right? But that's the thing. When you have a human factor into officiating, okay, you're gonna have shit calls in any sport. Like it could be netball. The official's gonna fuck up at a certain point, okay? Like that's just how it is. Um, you know, so you know, you just have to that's part of the game. That is part of the game.
Yeah. Yep.
Wow,
It's one of those nights.
Wow.
One of those nights. It's one
Yep.
of those nights, dude. Just one of them nights.
And now Cleveland's back with they came for our mojitos today. He will stand up for the Negronis tomorrow. Wow. You know what, Cleveland? I can't even be angry about that. That is beautiful. That is beautiful. Oh, no. Moonshine. Fuck no. I did that once. Biggest mistake of my life. Ended up with a broken nose, a black eye, and I have no idea how I ended up 6 miles away from my barracks.
I have no idea why there's blood on my ass.
Yeah, dude. Really sore.
But I was riding a horse, huh? That's what we called him. So I think.
Wow, we went all the
yell this out.
31 minutes in, we went all off the rails already.
Oh, dude, easy peasy.
Yeah,
easy peasy. I think sadly the Chiefs are that good. I think they're a little underperforming, and I think they might have a couple losses. I do think they're going to make the playoffs, but to your point, this is a very stacked AFC. The Bills are better than I thought they were going to be. Like I said, the Chargers are better than I thought they were going to be. Who the F saw the Steelers?
Yeah.
Looking this good? Because didn't we all think, we were all saying the same thing? Russell Wilson's on the sideline because he doesn't have it. That's where they're starting Justin Fields. Maybe he really was hurt, and he is some kind of weirdo that wanted to be suited up even though he couldn't play. But he's played well. $5 says we get Jason thrown out of that place. The mall does close soon, and I do have to leave because I feel like if I stay in this place, it's going to be like dusk till dawn, and not in a cool way.
You end up in a way. Yeah, I was going to say you end up like Vampire Chow and not like Salma Hayek dancing in front of you with a snake.
Like it kind of looks like, I don't know if you can tell, but it kind of looks like New Orleans in here, where there's like
a little bit
upstairs. Like imagine living in the mall. It's an interesting place to say the least.
I've seen a lot of apocalyptic places where people set up shop in the mall, and if things go to shit here, I'm going right to the mall and I'm gonna hold up there.
I mean, you be straight down here. There's hella good places to eat. There's some great vintage clothing stores. There's like 2 record stores in front of me. You'd have a champagne jam.
That's right. Just with all my guns and ammo too. Can't forget that.
But I think the Chiefs are that good. I'm excited to see the playoffs. This has been it's been a very fun football season.
Yeah.
Moving on.
I'm a Pats fan, and I loved last week. 9 sacks.
Drake May has played better than I thought. I want to say this before we go. Before we move to college football. We always talk shit about Drake May. The season's not over. His career's not over. Just wait. He'll show you who he really is.
Yeah.
He is who we thought he was. I hate the Caleb Williams hate because people are acting like, oh, he wasn't that good. That team, he didn't get picked first overall because that team was so stacked with talent.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, dude, the thing is that offensive line still needs a lot of work. You can have all the targets, all these great receivers on the outside, with like DJ Moore, Keenan Allen's there now. He's been hurt. Um, but like the run game hasn't been great. The defense, like Joe Lamite, I don't even know what Pruno is.
Just jailhouse wine.
Oh, okay. Toilet wine. Got it.
Toilet wine, yeah.
Okay. Oh, Tony, I'm going to tell you right now, they've already committed to putting 2 games on Peacock. So,
Are you being serious?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, God. Okay.
And I don't know if it's going to happen or not, but they're saying that Amazon might get a few playoff games next year too. So, yeah.
I'm not a fan.
I'm not either. I think it's bullshit. They get billions of dollars from these regular TV deals. I don't understand why you have to put them on the streaming services when people are already fucking paying out the nose for what they have.
Dude, watch. This is the future, and we have to kind of accept it.
Yeah, unfortunately.
And when I say accept it, I mean like I don't. Let me change that. Let me move back. Let me push back on that. This is the unfortunate future of a world where everyone tried to chase the golden goose of streaming dollars and fuck off cable and satellite.
Yeah.
And now this is what we're kind of stuck with, is people trying to get anything they can out of streaming. And the only thing that you can get out of streaming is sports, because people don't give a shit about movies like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Not anymore. I mean, people will be like, okay, I'm going to watch this series. I'll get it for however long I have to have it, and then I'll just cancel it. Honestly, Claw, I am very happy with May's progression. No, I will not be signing up for the cock. Fortunately, WWE is moving to Netflix now, so I won't have to miss the PLEs and whatnot, which makes me very, very happy. But yeah, Claw, I'm really happy with how May's played. And Jason and I do give UNC quarterbacks a lot of shit, but he's been functional.
He's looked pretty good.
Yeah, behind a non-existing offensive line,
Yeah.
little to no, rush, and nobody to really throw the ball to outside of Hunter Henry. But I will, dude, if we win 4 games for the season, I'm okay with that, because it still gives us another top 5 pick, and we better use it on a left fucking tackle. Like, if we're gonna go all in with Drake May, let's keep him on his feet to do what we drafted him to do, instead of running for his fucking life, which is what he's doing. I actually feel horrible for him, because I think I've seen less fire in Afghanistan than he has in like the fucking 5 weeks he started behind that offensive line. Like, it's fucking awful. And it's the same thing for Caleb Williams. When people want to give him shit, he is running for his life. They can't run the fucking ball. And before this week, they had that fucking shit ass fucking offensive coordinator calling plays for him. And it's just like, dude, fuck off, man.
And can we admit that Caleb Williams has this kind of, to me, this insane pocket presence where he doesn't get rattled right away? And my fear is that getting his ass kicked as hard as he's been getting it kicked. And I will say this, the line he had his last year at USC was Swiss cheese as well.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that I think he's kind of used to that. He has some poise. He still has that poise. There's 2 people that I think have an amazing poise. That's him and Shedeur, as far as young quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Shedeur Sanders has an amazing amount of poise, considering that kid is always running for his life.
Yes.
And throwing with pinpoint accuracy and knows how to climb a pocket. Him and Caleb Williams know how to climb a pocket. These guys aren't bad fundamentally.
No.
They're just on teams that aren't very good. You
the
need to have patience.
Yes. Here's the thing with Caleb, though. At USC, he could get away with that because they had receivers that could get separation the longer the play went on. You can't do that in the NFL. Everybody's fast as fuck, right? You've got to be able to make those check down reads. And the thing is, as he gets away from one rush, steps up in the pocket to try and deliver to a second read, by the time he gets to it, it's covered. So he's looking for his third, and then he's held on to the ball too long, And it's not his fault. It's not. That is just it's a poorly constructed roster that you have to blame completely on Ryan Pace. Completely on Ryan Pace. Just like with all the issues with the Browns, that is 100% on Andrew Berry, the general manager. And the thing is, since we'll just use Shedeur as our segue into college football. I think he's going to deal with the same shit wherever he gets drafted. Now, I will argue this though. Shedeur is playing in the Big 12, which has seemed a lot better than what we kind of posited, after the realignment and all the new teams coming in and Oklahoma and Texas heading out. This is still a two-person team with Shedeur and Travis Hunter. That offensive line only got a little bit better between last season and this season. And he does, Jason, I'm with you. He's phenomenal. Do I think that he should stay one more in college? Yes, I absolutely think that. I think it would just really help his development if he got a little more time behind a functioning offensive line, because like he's going to learn some tendencies now just trying to survive and try and take those to the league. And the coach is going to eat his breakfast, right? It's not going to be good. But yeah, man, I think Shedeur is fucking fun as shit. He's a lot of fun to watch. That team's a lot of fun to watch. Deion coaching this team up into 7-2 and being competitive in the Big 12 probably is going to put Travis Hunter over, I think, to win the Heisman. Because like I said, no losing teams ever produced a Heisman winner, right? And the better you finish at the end of the year, let's face it, sports is a what have you done for me lately thing. And the Heisman, unfortunately, gets awarded, honestly, like a month, 5 weeks before the end of the season now. So, I really like Hunter's chances now. But like Colorado is just, I'm curious to see what happens. 13 tasty mojito wins. You're
Will Alabama lose again? That's what I wonder. And I think it's very possible. One of those two lost teams can lose again. I want to see Army move up. Like I said before, I want to see Army move up.
Well, what's gonna be the important game for Army is this weekend against Notre Dame. If they beat Notre Dame, they've got smooth sailing all the way to the American conference title game. And if they win out, with a win over Notre Dame, they'll be the group of 5 team that gets in the playoff. Boise State's going to give it their best shot. They've played a couple teams that, Army, they're probably better than Army, strength wise, but like Army's, they beat everybody that, has been put in front of them. And when you look at, they win big or they win like they did last week. I don't know if you saw this. They had a 19 play, 96-yard drive that chewed up 13 minutes of clock when they beat North Texas. Like, the ability to do that's nuts. Okay, and Tony, since I see you want to do this, okay, they devour their own children. I'm going to say this now. The SEC, by far and away, and I don't think anybody can argue this, and I'm not going to argue it, is the best, has been the best conference in college football for years.
Ever, yeah.
Right?
Easy.
They win national titles, and literally they've won what, like 12 of the last 15 or some shit like that, right? So, but this is the year where there's actually a lot of parity in the SEC, right? A lot of those teams are very equal talent-wise, scheme-wise, coaching-wise, all that shit, right? The SEC, whether you want to believe it or not, has traditionally been very top-heavy as well. You had your top 3 or 4 teams, and there was a big drop-off between 4 and 5. Well, that's the Big Ten now. It is beyond top-heavy. The SEC just had, like, more teams have gotten better and can actually compete with, like, Georgia and Bama now. Tennessee, I figured they would go on a massive run this year, and it's been pretty uneven play that I've seen, but that's still another team that could come out of nowhere, lay 60 on you and not even blink, But yeah, there's a lot of parity, which is kind of nuts. Oh yeah, I'm with you, Tony, and they're picking each other off real fucking quick. And that's going to kind of put the kibosh on the talk of like the SEC getting, 4 teams. I really don't think any conference should get 4 teams. Not even with them being as big as they are now. Like 16 in the Big 10, 16 in the SEC. There's 14 in the Big 12. There's absolutely no way that we should have that many teams ending up in from one conference in the playoff. And yeah, I mean, that's the great thing about the portal. It's the great equalizer, right? You can go out and fill a lot of holes, or even just a few that you would put you over the hump and get that star. So I love the portal. Of course, Jason, well done. But yeah, what do you?
I want to pivot to this idea because I would like to see Colorado see if they can keep it up. I don't know if they can. If Colorado can keep it up and make it to the playoffs, even if they're one and done in the college playoffs.
Dude, can you imagine what the conference title games are going to look like this year? BYU, Colorado in the Big 12, right? You're going to have some weird combination of teams in the SEC because, like Red said, they're going to just pick each other
Texas
off.
and Georgia, or Texas and Alabama.
Texas, Ole Miss, maybe. Like, who fucking knows at this point?
Who saw Ole Miss coming for Georgia's head like that?
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, Ole Miss typically really trips up against big teams. Like, they can keep it close, and there's always one big play that they give up that kind of allows that big team to separate from them. But let's face it, Carson Beck down in Georgia has just been a train wreck the last 4 weeks.
He's also not that great.
What are you talking about, Jason? He's projected. Well, honestly, last week he was projected as a first rounder.
show me a Georgia quarterback outside of Matt Stafford that's actually been a really good professional quarterback. What's his name? Was it Fran Tarkenton? Was he a Georgia Bulldog?
I don't know.
There's just hasn't been too many Georgia quarterbacks that have actually panned out in the NFL that I can think of. Yeah, sometimes he's a victim of bad play calling.
Yeah,
but I want to ask you this before, because time is of the essence as I'm trying to beat the clock of the indoor mall, the underground mall. I really wish you guys could see this place. It's so cool. But I don't think Deion Sanders stays in Colorado regardless of what happens. And I wouldn't be surprised if Jerry Jones did something ridiculous, because I do think pundit influence is more powerful now than it was before because of the 24-hour news cycle and because of the internet.
Yep.
Where you're getting pummeled with stuff like this, where one person reports a rumor. Sports news is literally no different than right-wing propaganda. So if you remember that stuff that happened in the UK where the kid got right when I'm saying something cool, where the young man stabbed those 4 girls. Andrew Tate shared a fake news story that got used as news. His fake news got used as news.
Yep.
And it was downhill from there. Sports is the same way, where Jerry Jones seems like the type of person that is very, very in tune with what the press is saying. And I feel like he'd be like, why not have Deion here? It'd be great for the fans.
Yeah. Well, I mean, here's the thing. McCarthy's a lame duck. This is the last year of his contract. And he's not coming back. Jerry's not going to say it during the season.
No,
but he's not going to come back, right? I wouldn't be surprised if he made a play for Deion.
That's it. But what do you think of that as a coaching decision in the NFL for a guy that's shown us? And again, college and the NFL game is very different. But Deion is playing from the portal, right? I don't have to develop any talent. I don't really have to coach these kids. I'm just going to get people that can plug and play. That might be closer to what you'd have to do in the NFL game, but you have a limited roster of players.
Yeah. You've got a salary cap to contend with.
There's the egos, which I think he probably can maneuver egos. I think that might be his strong suit. But can he put together a staff that's decent?
I mean, here's the thing. He's the type of dude that's going to ignore history that says college coaches have a horrible record of transitioning to the NFL.
Yeah.
Right? Like some of the greatest college coaches just couldn't cut it in the NFL. Saban, look at Lou Holtz. He flamed out. Spurrier,
Oof.
like those were all,
Patino? Was that his name?
yeah,
Patino? Yeah.
So like he would have to surround himself with like former head coaches, like guys like Spagnuolo, right? Out in Kansas City. But how many of those guys are going to want to play like coach for Deion?
That's
And
the thing.
I don't say that like in a bad way, but Deion is a larger than life personality.
Very true.
The Cowboys will be America's team, meaning Deion's going to be out front of everything. Like him in Dallas is just the spotlight's going to be even brighter, and the fact that he played there and won a Super Bowl there, like it's going to be kind of a double-edged sword for him because he's going to get the spotlight that the man frankly craves. He really does. And I don't think that's a bad thing per se. Some people can handle that kind of limelight and others can't. Deion's one of those guys that can. But also, are you going to be able to deliver the wins in it, for a team that is just so hungry to be relevant in the NFL again?
Yeah.
And the thing is, Dallas isn't in a great cap situation, so you're not going to be able to spend your way out of this hole that they're in. And then you're going to have Dak coming back off of an injury, which it's not like an Achilles injury, but he still tore his hamstring. So it's like, I don't know if it would be a good move, honestly. Like he's got it made in Boulder right now. I don't know. Like for me,
Does he go to Florida State, his alma mater?
Dude, I'm gonna tell you right now. Much like the situation in Gainesville, Norvell's buyout is stupid high, right? Granted, and this is no bullshit. Florida State has a much larger war chest as far as like coaching buyouts, NIL than Florida has, and it's not even close. Florida was late to the game. That's why they had all that drama with Jaden Rashada. But the fact of the matter is, if Florida fired Napier right now, they'd have to come up with $26 million. Now, that's not Jimbo Fisher buyout, which was 68, but that's still a big chunk of money you have to come up with at once. Norvell signed an extension after last year, which bumped up his buyout, right? So I think his buyout's closer to like 40 or 45 million, So like, where are they going to get this money from? Because like after the Jimbo Fisher thing hit, The Athletic did a whole rundown of every buyout for every coach at the FBS level. And in the group of four, like they're ridiculous, all of them. I'm talking tens of millions of dollars that are going to have to be produced. And yes, some boosters will step up, some, right? But a lot of these rich dudes, if they're burning money, they just literally burnt it in the campaign, right? Like that's where a lot of them spent a lot of money. So I don't see them being able to fire Norvell and coming up with the buyout. Not this year, but maybe next year.
So does Deion take a pro job then for a couple seasons, like some of his, like Nick Saban, for example, and then go back to the college job that he really wants, like, I don't know, again, Florida State or, what, I guess the question is like, what job would Deion want and what job would be open to a Deion Sanders?
I really think if he's moving, he's going to the pros, right? The thing is, if he keeps doing well in Boulder, he's got a league that he can win much easier,
But he can't recruit. Someone said it in the chat that he's a lazy recruiter. I see him trying to use like social media. I don't know. Did I share it with you? Someone had their Colorado offer letter, and it was like really nice and had gold LeMay and shit on it. But I think because he's such a fan of the portal, I think because he was lucky enough, I shouldn't say lucky enough, he was able to use his sons as long as he's been able to use his sons and Travis Hunter. What does he have in the Colorado cabinet once those guys are gone?
I mean, the
I
thing
don't think he
is,
has much.
he needs to get like a guy whose whole job is to recruit. Like every team has a recruiting coordinator.
Yeah.
And essentially what they do is line up the visits, make sure you're not exceeding the amount of like contact you have with that recruit during the given recruiting period, right? So the text messages, the phone calls, they track all that, right? But if he hired a guy that just essentially did his recruiting for him, and like say you had like a 5 4 5 star guy, your recruiting coordinator could go out there and like on that last visit, you're like, hey coach, you got to come with me. And Deion can just walk in and put his Super Bowl ring down on the table
Yeah.
and be like, see, this is what I bring. But you
Yeah.
had this other guy do all the legwork. And that would be totally fine. By rules, you're allowed to do that. Like the coach doesn't have to be the guy spearheading recruiting. It just typically that's the way it's done. Right. But why not bring in another guy that has some cachet? Maybe he is a former coach or some shit like that. But that's what he does. He coordinates all that. He spearheads your recruiting, and Deion just comes in to close the deal. Right.
Mhm.
That would work very well for him right now. Especially in Boulder. I mean, we're past the days where everything's regional. Like
Yeah.
Tom Osborne isn't just recruiting 90% of his powerhouse Nebraska teams from Nebraska. Like those days are done. And it's Deion, so he could just say, "Hey, man, look at who I am. Look at what I did for Travis Hunter. Look at what I did. I made him into a two-way star."
That's the one thing he's going to be able to have, because as of right now, how many guys from Colorado got drafted last year? None that I can think of.
Yeah. Not
That
even
team
low
was
rounds.
not very good. That team was not very good.
No.
It almost last year felt like some Bishop Sycamore shit.
Dude, when they got into Big 12 play, that's what it looked like.
Right?
And honestly, it's because, he had such a high turnover.
Mhm.
When, he got there, it was 70% of the team that turned over. That's a lot of the team. And you're not building, cohesion like that in one summer. It just doesn't work that way, especially with your offensive line, right? And now he went into the portal again, but I think it worked out a lot better. He has better coaching at the coordinator and positions groups right now, which I will give him credit for. Although I think he did Sean Lewis pretty dirty, his offensive coordinator that he stripped play calling from, like who literally left the head coaching position to go do. But I think he ended up in a better. Lewis is out in San Diego State right now. I think he's enjoying it much better. The weather's nicer, chicks are hotter. Like he can go surf.
Sure, they got a nice stadium down there.
Yeah.
The Snapdragon Stadium. No. San Diego State is it's a very cherry job, as they say. Maybe even a retirement position, kind of like Stanford or Cal. On that note, I do think Travis Hunter might be the first person from unless Colorado ends up shocking the world and makes it in the playoffs, a non-playoff caliber team to win a Heisman. Ashton Genty has put up some Madden-like video game numbers this year, and he's very fun to watch. I can't wait to see him on Sunday. That being said, Travis Hunter, I've never seen anything like him in my lifetime. And you and I have both seen some two-way-ish players in college. Never have we seen someone be so dominant on both sides of the ball.
Yeah, and the thing is, it's like if Charles Woodson can play offense and win, help him kind of project him into the Heisman that year, like Hunter's running laps around what,
oh my God,
Woodson did on offense and special teams, so it's just Colorado has to keep winning. The thing is, if they start losing and they're not positioned to go play in the Big 12 title game, like that will unfortunately count against Hunter. That's the sad part. And that's just the way the voting is. And so like, I mean, this team has gotten hot at the right time. They're playing good football. Shedeur Sanders has managed to like stay upright mostly the last few weeks, which is that is development for the offensive line that I wasn't sure we'd see this year. And like you said, when things are falling apart, he is able to still get the ball out, get in his receivers' hands, and his receivers are making plays. And that's where you want to be. Now, what's going to be rough is when they start getting into that the end of this Big 12 schedule. And they can't keep up defensively. Like, they can't get stops, and it's on Shedeur to continue to score 40, 45 points every game. And we saw how that kind of wore on him towards the end of last season.
Well, again, that kid is constantly running for his life. And again, the passes that we've seen him throw with ridiculous pinpoint accuracy on the run, not necessarily back foot passes because he can square up really quickly, but he seems to be able to read defenses quite well. He can sense the rush quite well. But even if he has the correct personnel to stop a blitz from a blind side, for example, they're not picking. They haven't historically picked up very well for him. And the fact that they're winning so well, Travis Hunter again is making plays on both sides of the ball to win games. It's a fun team to watch.
He's getting treated like Nnamdi Asomugha those last few years in Oakland. Like, they don't even throw to his side of the field anymore.
Yeah.
Which is phenomenal. Like, if that's your life as a corner, be like Nnamdi, right? Do as little as you can, get your bag, and go to Philly. And
Travis
then he puts
Hunter
you in the wrong
may
defense.
fuck around in a pass-happy NFL. He may be setting himself up to be a number 1 overall cornerback, and I can't think of a number 1 overall cornerback that was taken in my lifetime. Can you? I'm thinking in my head. Champ Bailey was picked in the middle rounds. Charles Woodson was in the top 10, wasn't he? The year he won the Heisman.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, though, you got to think, even in the pass-happy NFL, I just don't see them going that high on a corner. And it's not saying that Hunter isn't good enough to be the number 1 overall pick. It's just the way that front offices rank positional needs. And corner is never that high anymore because you've seen this proliferation of like low-rounded or undrafted free agents that
Moss in Denver.
Yeah, that come out and just become lockdown corners. So like the value, even though it's like literally one of the most important positions on the field, that the draft value isn't high. And Claw, Nnamdi went to Philly and they put him in the exact wrong defense. Okay.
No booty ass monger is maybe the worst.
Yeah, but you know
that's probably what his name was growing up, depending on what neighborhood he grew up in.
Yeah, and Nnamdi, I'm gonna tell you right now, Nnamdi still made out. He's married to Kerry Washington.
Yeah,
and
they started a movie together. Have you seen it?
No. I'll watch Kerry Washington read a phone book, but I will not watch Nnamdi Asomugha in a movie. I won't do that.
Wow. Maybe he's ass booger to you too.
This is not a Nnamdi Asomugha hate channel. We love Nnamdi. It's just when Nnamdi got to Philly and they, instead of having him play off man, they had him play like a horrible press and he would get beat. And it wasn't pretty. It wasn't, I mean, let's face it, that collection of superstars in Philly didn't pan out on either side of the ball. It was very poor
have Nnamdi Asomugha watch this show and be like, the best sports show on the internet is Beyond the Red Zone?
That's right. And he'd be like, see, these two motherfuckers get it.
These niggas get it. Stay
away from my wife. Especially you, white man. Especially you.
I'll show you a press corner, all right.
Nnamdi.
Before we go, I totally forgot that this Jake Paul Mike Tyson farce of a fight is about to happen. I don't like it for tons of reasons. The first reason I don't like it, I don't think it proves anything to beat on a 60-year-old man who, at the end of his career, was already getting beat on quite well. That's why he hung it up. He didn't hang it up on top, sadly. And this is not a diss to Mike Tyson.
No.
I don't want that nigga showing up trying to yell at me with the lisp. I'm not trying to deal with that shit. But seriously, I understand it's a payday for Mike, but one thing I am getting from Jake Paul and these kind of internet personalities is that Jake Paul is the brass ring, I guess, for these like nuisance streamers that like try to get beat up. and doing this outrageous bullshit, like fighting a legend, not just past his prime, but literally minding his own business.
Yeah.
And he's been talking about wanting to fight Mike Tyson for years, as if it's some sort of treat. And the people that are like, yeah, what a treat. I've seen some real fighters that are Mike Tyson fans that go, this is the worst thing that can happen to one of my favorite fighters. And not that he's going to lose. Even if he wins, he doesn't win. This is just, to me, I don't have Netflix. But this is the future of where a lot of these people that are very popular on the internet want to
Yeah,
be.
see, but this is the shitty part is he wants to parlay a win into a fight against Canelo Alvarez at 200. No, Jason, at 200 pounds. Alvarez is 5'8".
Why would you want to fight him at like 40, 50 pounds over what he's walking around at? Come on, dude.
He's the unified super middleweight. He jumped up to light heavy at 175, barely made weight. And the day of the fight, he weighed 170 pounds. The guy he fought weighed 205. Right? Like, it's fucking so dumb. Why don't you, if you're such a great fighter there, fucking Jake Paul, why don't you come down to fucking super middle 168? Oh, you can't, because most of you is manufactured. You know,
Ooh.
I'm sorry.
Ooh.
It's that you don't get a physique like that. And I know he's a millionaire. I know he's fucking used American laws in order to get fucking tax breaks in Puerto Rico.
Oof. Preach.
Okay. But that motherfucker does nothing but stream on the internet and do a podcast. And when these freak show fights pop up, he suddenly got a fucking 12 pack and walks around at 3% body fat. Fuck you, dude. The only thing fucking, testosterone induced from Jake Paul was inserted into his body with a syringe. Okay. Like, that's just the fucking long and short of it.
Clipping this. We're clipping this.
But you want to sit there and talk about how you're a great, you could be a world champ. No, you fucking can't. You fought no one, and you're getting ready to fight a 60-year-old man who, like you said, Jason, those last few years were very, very bad. Very, very bad.
Very bad. Very bad. He was getting knocked out by, I hate to say it because I can't beat him. But he was getting knocked out by people that were not big name fighters at the end of his career. That's why no one remembers the end of his career. Some people might even barely remember the Lennox Lewis fight. Like, it's not just Holyfield. It was after Holyfield. It did not look good for Mike Tyson.
No, this is a guy that you noticed at the tail end where he was starting to have the effects, even though he demolished everybody that went in front of him before he went to prison. But this is the dude who took a lot of shots. And that was kind of his mystique, is he could walk through your best and hit you with even more. And this is a dude. Okay, thank you, Nuri. Allegedly, Jake Paul did all those things. Allegedly. Okay.
Bye-bye.
But the fact of the matter is like you're fighting a 60-year-old dude. So you being the serious fighter, right? Who's fought nobody. You fought a bunch of washed up MMA guys who have loofahs attached to their fists instead of fists and gloves, and that you think that puts you in a position to get a title shot that real fighters fight for decades to get. Dude, fuck you. Okay. The reason that this motherfucker just doesn't go and fight for the cruiserweight title is because cruiserweight's not a sexy weight class and he can't, generate tens of millions of dollars in revenue, but hey, go test yourself against the top heavyweights in the world. Go ahead, dude. You are going to get fucking rocked.
He's never going to do it. He's going to fight Mike Tyson. He's going to make a bunch of money. If that's the thing that he can offer these fighters that's giving him validity in the fight game, which is he can offer fighters a bigger payday than most promoters to basically lose. So again, I'm not a fan.
Yeah, dude. And that's the fucking shitty thing is the way boxing's going. The Saudi government is going to control it all. And I'm not happy about seeing that. Like, they're literally trying to force the top boxers to essentially tell the sanctioning bodies to go fuck themselves. We're going to run things now. There won't be the sanctioning bodies will have to work for us if they want their titles out there. You know, and what kills me is Bud Crawford, as a man who's marched to his own beat his entire career, he was the first big name they got.
Yeah.
And I'm like, bro,
can I play
little
can I play this song for you? So jokingly, god damn it, jokingly the other day, I joked about some rapper that of course doesn't exist. Because this is what contemporary hip hop sounds to me. Some name like Lil Fuckhead with a song called Eating All the Butt. So Mac, I want to get this song stuck in your head.
Okay, fine.
Found a box of donuts left outside my door. Pulled apart a sweet one from state to flow. Licking all the glaze, cannot ask for more.
Can you hear it, Mac?
Got my mind on pastries, that's for sure. Morning wood got me feeling in the groove. Coffee's perking up, time for me to move. Sugar rush intensify so slick and smooth. I can't deny I'm in the fucking mood. Eating all the butt, in the cut, loving every nut. Eating all the butt, I'm in a rut, cause I'm a slut for the butt. Afternoon escape from the daily grind. At the booty shop is where I unwind. Taking all the flavors that are hard to find. Flavors melting in my mouth like every kind. Every night I'm looking for a sweet delight. Dreaming of your donut in the pale moonlight. Every little bite feels just so fucking right. Sugar booty mama, she tastes out of sight. Eating all the butt, in the cut, loving every nut. Eating all the butt, I'm in a rut, cause I'm a slut for the butt, for the butt. I'm eating all the butt, in the cut, busting hella nuts. Eating all the butt, I'm in a rut, cause I'm a slut for the butt. Slut for the butt, yeah. Slut for the butt, yeah. Slut for the butt, yeah. Slut for the butt, yeah.
So where's this butt store?
Are you a slut for the butt, man?
I'm not above eating ass.
So you're a slut for the butt. So this is a song that you would enjoy.
Oh, dude, I'm gonna put it on my iPod.
Here, I'll let everybody. I'll share it with everybody. This is so Pasquale Romero has decided he's making an entire character out of Lil Fuckhead because he had so much fun eating all the butt. TIR fan Ken made a remix of Eating All the Butt for patrons. I'm all about these hilarious songs. Here, I put a link up to Lil Fuckhead's playlist.
Lil Fuckhead. There we go.
Joel Mai says, this Chet Hanks? No, this is a real AI rapper that we created named Lil Fuckhead. Somebody says PP Pie is way better. Wait, I'm going to play you a little bit of PP Pie.
Oh, my God.
Whipping in the lab, call me Frankenstein. Brewing up that golden colored honey wine. Mix it, stir it, bubbles like fine champagne. PP pie's a dish your taste buds can't decline. Yeah, yellow liquid gold from my wee flow. Everybody want a slice, they can't say no. Got that aroma never seen before. PP pie, baby, always leave them on the mode. PP pie, serve it by the slice. Everybody want this, what's the secret? It's so nice. Golden rain, they lining up, they wanna try. One bite's all it takes, and it'll make you high. Lemon-filled dreams, got them sipping from the streams. Homemade groove, dancing like a moonbeam. Waters overflow, people lining up the scene. PP pie, baby, sweetest you ever seen. Yeah, got the secret sauce, simmer in the pot. Blended perfect, serving love in your night spot. From the kitchen to the block, reputation grow. PP pie, I got it everywhere I go. PP pie, served it by the slice. Everybody.
Okay, they are cleaning up here. They're putting the chairs away, and I
Bro,
yeah.
that was more disturbing than he. No.
Who would have guessed we'd run out of music before oil? Oh my God. I literally am in all of the shock. Oh no, she's coming for me. She's taking the chairs down.
It's because you played PP Pie. Now she's just like, don't come back here again.
Luckily, so for some reason, like when I play the music, I can't hear it on the thing. So I could see that it was playing. I could see it was going. They can't hear it because I got headphones in. Thank God, because they would have been like, Jason, what did you just say? Is he freeing the pee-pee? How does urine make a crust? Sentient Dragon says I prefer the butt song.
Yeah, Dragon, I feel the same way, man.
Eating all the butt is a fucking classic, dude.
I mean, it also speaks to contemporary America. We're just all eating all the butt right now.
I'm a slut for the butt.
That's right. Got to go to the butt store. Try them all.
When he said donuts, it took me forever to realize, oh, it's a butthole. A donut's a butthole.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was so... Okay, she's coming for me. She's coming for my chairs. Ellie, she's mad. You have to... The angry... You can't piss off two Mexican women at a witch cafe, I think.
I mean, that... Oh, Nuri, I already know about Kneecap, man. I just got 2 of their vinyls. Jason, you should listen to Kneecap.
That's the
phenomenal.
hardcore band from Ireland?
No, that's a rap group from Ireland. And they rap
Gaelic, right?
Yeah. Yep. Phenomenal, dude.
Glizzies are made out of pig buttholes. Glizzies are made out of pig buttholes. It is true. Okay, I'm going to stop saying butthole because I think they can't understand what butthole means.
Well, of course they can understand butthole. That crosses every language barrier.
Eric W. said Molly Wow.
I can go to Sentinel Island where that guy got shot full of arrows trying to bring Bibles to them and say butthole, and they're gonna be like, oh, we know what that is. You know.
How do we make Little Fuckhead blow up? I want Little Fuckhead to be the biggest thing ever.
Well, what we need to do is get the most we need to get like a gangly white dude to just be the face of Little Fuckhead. Yeah. You know, just like a tall, gangly dude, like that one guy from what was it? It had Tom Green in it, and the dude went to go stop his girlfriend in another university from opening the envelope with a sex tape.
Oh God, I know exactly the movie you're talking about.
Yeah. Yeah, we need the dude that had fun at the all-black fraternity.
DJ
hooked up with that girl.
Is his name?
Yeah, yes, that's his name. We need a guy that looks like DJ Qualls to be the face of Little Fuckhead.
Well, let's make it happen. We have to get out of here because, again, I don't want these they're like, you don't understand. She's like
honestly, you don't piss off a place, witch. The proprietors of a place you like hanging out,
right?
So.
And then like no one's smiling. I try to like wave politely, and I got a sarcastic smile from the young one. So okay, I'm gonna get out of here.
Okay. Yep.
Jason, while you're getting... You want to say hi? Ellie, say hi. You guys just missed out, man. You just missed out. I tried to get him on camera. I was like, you guys are so adorable and cool, and you have the best cafe in TJ. I talk about you guys all the time. No, you're not going to say hi? She don't want. Right now, there's only 4 people watching. It's only 4. You want to know how many for real are watching? Like 4. No. I'm trying to say hi real quick. Just real quick. No, they want to see you. You said, could you hear? She's like, I said.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Mac, I got to get the hell out of here. Everybody else, thank you guys so much. Sorry, Mac and I couldn't go along, but Mac's been working way too many hours anyway. This was another fun show. We'll be back next week, hopefully with more little fuckhead for you guys. Pasquale says he's going to make an entire little fuckhead album. He's having way too much fun, and that's all of y'all's fault. That little fuckhead.
Yeah, let him know we need a song about toe licking.
Maybe that would be bigger than eating all the butt.
It probably would be.
3 witches you shall meet on your road to fame. There's only 2 here right now, the owner and the main worker. But there's like a third one. She seems like a witch apprentice, the third one.
That's still 3 of them. Don't fuck around.
No, seriously, dude. I tried so hard to get them to come on. They're like, no. All right. MILF frothing too. Thank you guys very much. And we are out.